You were born powerful. You didn't enter this world afraid to speak, to fight, to take what you needed. But somewhere along the way, they taught you to kneel. They told you to be polite, to be careful, to be manageable. And so you shrank, until even your own desires felt like a threat. Now you hesitate to approach the people you want to meet. You pull back from the moments that could change your life. You feel the weight of what you could be, trapped under the fear of what you might lose. You think you're lacking confidence. You're not. You're lacking permission to unleash the part of you they've spent your whole life trying to cage. What if the part of you society fears most, the untamed, the aggressive, the fiercely alive, is actually the part you need to survive? Not just to survive, but to thrive. Carl Jung called it the warrior archetype, an ancient force inside you, older than fear itself, etched into your psyche, waiting for the day you decide you're tired of living on your knees. The warrior isn't reckless. The warrior isn't cruel. The warrior is focused, disciplined, ferocious when necessary, but always ruled by a higher mission. You need to unlock that part of you, the part that still knows how to move forward without apology, the part that remembers you were not made to obey invisible masters. They, the institutions, the systems, the well-meaning voices around you, they are terrified of the moment you remember what you are. Because a man or woman who has awakened their inner warrior cannot be manipulated, cannot be controlled, cannot be broken. The question is not whether the warrior still lives inside you. The question is, will you dare to set it free? The warrior isn't a brute. The warrior is not violence for its own sake. The warrior is purpose made flesh. Clear, disciplined, unbreakable. Carl Jung taught us that deep inside the human mind, there are ancient blueprints, archetypes, primal patterns we inherit, not just from our parents, but from the entire history of our species. And among the most vital of these is the warrior archetype. The true warrior is not simply a fighter. The warrior is a protector, a servant of purpose, a living code of honor and focus. Where the world falls into chaos, the warrior steps forward, not to dominate blindly, but to impose clarity, structure, and justice, starting first within themselves. In Jungian psychology, the warrior is not an optional costume you put on when life gets rough. It's a fundamental piece of the self, striving for wholeness, a necessary energy without which no meaningful life can be built. But there's a catch. Every archetype casts a shadow. When the warrior forgets purpose and serves only ego, he mutates. He becomes the warlord, reckless, cruel, addicted to conquest for its own hollow sake. He abandons discipline for domination. He exchanges inner strength for the empty rush of external power. Robert Moore and Douglas Gillette explored this dynamic in their work, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover. They revealed that masculine maturity depends not on suppressing the warrior, but on maturing it, turning raw aggression into calibrated action, turning blind rage into conscious strength. In their framework, the healthy warrior is humble before a mission greater than himself. He fights, but he does not seek unnecessary battles. He's ruthless against injustice, but merciful when victory would cost his soul. The shadow warrior, the warlord, is enslaved by rage and pride. The true warrior is enslaved to nothing. They, the forces that try to domesticate you, want you to believe that all strength is dangerous. The warrior archetype is not a call to violence. It is a call to mastery. From the moment you were young, you were taught that confrontation is wrong, that ambition is arrogance, that aggression is toxic, and so you learned to shrink, not because you lost your power, but because you were shamed out of it. Carl Jung warned about this process. When society demands you deny your strength, your courage, your wild instincts, you don't erase them, you push them into the shadow, the hidden unconscious parts of yourself that you're afraid to acknowledge. But the shadow does not stay silent. It grows, twisting, festering. The repressed warrior doesn't vanish. He becomes something far worse. Passive, bitter, directionless. You see it everywhere. People haunted by a vague anger they can't explain. A restless frustration they try to numb with distractions, with addictions, with empty victories that mean nothing. Friedrich Nietzsche understood this dynamic too. He called it slave morality, a system built to control those who could be dangerous. It teaches you to see your own strength as evil and your own obedience as virtue. In slave morality, pride becomes a sin. Courage becomes recklessness. Greatness becomes selfishness. The result? An army of souls who believe that playing small is holy, who think it's better to kneel safely than to risk standing tall. But Nietzsche also spoke of another path, the path of the master, the one who embraces his will to power without shame, who creates his own values instead of inheriting chains disguised as virtues. The truth is simple, brutal, and liberating. Real power comes not from killing your instincts, but from mastering them. Aggression without purpose is chaos, but aggression channeled through honor, courage, and discipline, that is the warrior's gift. They want you to believe you must kill the fire inside you to be good. But the world doesn't need more obedient shadows. It needs more warriors who are awake. You were not born to be tame. You were born to choose what you fight for, and to fight without apology. To awaken the warrior within, you must first confront yourself. This is not about domination. It's about protecting what is sacred, your strength, your purpose, and your integrity. The warrior is not born from comfort. The warrior is forged in hardship, tested by adversity, and strengthened through the fire of discipline. It begins with voluntary hardship. You choose the path of discomfort, not because you crave suffering, but because you understand what it builds. Discipline is the foundation, and discipline is what separates those who lead from those who follow. Every time you decide to rise earlier, push harder, resist the urge to give in, you claim your power back. You create your strength piece by piece. With each choice, you build resilience, the kind that will carry you through life's greatest challenges. But resilience isn't just physical. The warrior within thrives on emotional mastery, the ability to face your own fears, doubts, and emotions without being controlled by them. This isn't about suppressing your anger or fear. It's about understanding them and learning to channel them, not into destruction, but into purposeful action. The warrior's true strength lies in the ability to see past transient emotions and choose mission over feeling. When life gets hard, When pressure mounts, the warrior's inner compass points to one thing. What am I willing to defend? Start with existential journaling. Ask yourself, what am I willing to defend? Your values? Your integrity? Your loved ones? This is the bedrock of your warrior identity. Next, practice micro-confrontations. These are small, daily acts of bravery. Speaking up in meetings. Setting boundaries with people who drain you. Making the difficult decision to say no to things that don't align with your mission. Each of these small moments is a challenge to your old, passive self. Each one reinforces your commitment to courage and clarity. And then, there's the ritual of physical challenge. Cold exposure, endurance, physical feats that challenge your body and your mind. This isn't about proving your toughness to anyone else. This is about symbolic rites of passage, affirming to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. Viktor Frankl, in the most extreme of circumstances, found meaning under pressure. He chose to take responsibility even in the darkest moments. This is the heart of the warrior, the ability to find meaning and take responsibility even when everything else seems lost. Carl Jung speaks of individuation, the integration of the rejected parts of yourself into a powerful, whole being. When you reclaim the warrior, you are not adding something new to yourself. You are integrating the strength, the power, and the sacred mission that has always been there, waiting to be awakened. Becoming the warrior isn't about domination. It's about knowing what you stand for and defending it with every fiber of your being. To stay in warrior mode, you must make it a daily commitment. Mastery is not a feeling that suddenly washes over you. It is a choice that must be renewed each day. And the first step is a morning battle intention ritual. This isn't just about waking up and starting your day mindlessly. This is about setting your intention for the battle ahead. What will you defend today? What mission are you on today? Before you even get out of bed, take a few moments to ground yourself. Visualize the day ahead. Define your purpose, and make that purpose your armor. When you wake up with intention, you're already moving toward victory, even before the first challenge appears. But staying aligned with the warrior isn't just about intentions. It's about exposure to controlled discomfort. You see, the warrior thrives in discomfort. It's what builds strength, resilience, and resolve. Every week, expose yourself to discomfort in some form. Fasting, it teaches you mental clarity. Exercise, it teaches you endurance. Public speaking, it teaches you to confront your fear of judgment. When you step into discomfort on your terms, you reclaim your power. You teach your body and mind that you are in control, not the world around you. Now, you must also track your actions against your honor code. The warrior lives by a code, a set of values that guides every decision. But it's easy to lose sight of that code in the rush of daily life. So, begin honor code journaling, a practice where you regularly check in with your actions. Are your actions aligning with your values? Are you moving closer to your mission or drifting? Every week, take the time to reflect on your choices and make adjustments. This isn't about being perfect. It's about alignment. The warrior's strength comes from staying true to their code, even when it's hard. And then there's the practice of Jungian active imagination. This is an advanced technique, but it's incredibly powerful. You sit in stillness, close your eyes, and begin a dialogue with your inner warrior. Ask yourself questions. What does the warrior want from you today? What challenges are you avoiding? This is not about logic or rationality. It's about tuning into your deeper self. You'll be amazed at the insights that come when you give your inner warrior space to speak. Mastery, remember, is not a feeling. It's a choice. And it's a choice you must make every day. You're not going to feel like a warrior every moment. But when you choose to embody the warrior, even in the small moments, you will see your strength grow. Stay committed. Stay disciplined. Stay in warrior mode. Strength is not about violence, domination, or mindless destruction. It is about sacred responsibility. The warrior, the savage within you, is not a force of chaos, but of order and purpose. This power, this energy, is meant to protect, defend, and create. It is the force that brings your deepest, truest self into the world.